Players. So it's looking like there was some truth to the rumors surrounding the shooting death of Judge Kevin Mullins by the sheriff Mickey Stines in Letcher County. There was a court hearing, a preliminary court hearing the other day, and we learned a little bit more. And they also played the video of the actual shooting. Y'all, let's talk about it. So, as previously reported on September 19th in Letcher County, Kentucky, Sheriff Mickey Stines fatally shot Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers 8 times, walked out and surrendered to authorities. Now, he was arrested, and unfortunately, the judge was found deceased at the scene. So, ever since this happened, everybody's been wondering what happened, what caused the sheriff to do something like this. And the same day that the incident happened, the rumor mill started, and there was a rumor that the judge had some type of relationship with the sheriff's underage daughter. So at the preliminary hearing, we learned a little more about what may possibly set this off, although there's not a clear cut motive that's been laid out by prosecutors. In Kentucky, there has to be a preliminary hearing where you present evidence for the charges, and that's what occurred the other day, where the investigator gave some testimony, and they also played a very graphic video of the incident. And I can tell you, it was breathtaking and devastating and tragic and all of the things. It definitely was to watch. And as they played the video, you see the sheriff in the chambers. He pulls up the weapon, he fires. Then you see the judge cowering in the corner with his hands up and trying to shield himself with the desk and with his hands. But the sheriff continues to fire. And they said it was a total of 8 times. And then the sheriff just casually walks out. So an investigator testified during the preliminary hearing. And what we learned is that they have evidence to show that the sheriff dialed his daughter's phone number from Judge Kevin Mullins' phone, then pulled out his weapon and fired upon the judge. The investigator also testified that when the sheriff was taken into custody, he told officers that they are trying to kidnap my wife and kid. Now, he didn't elaborate on what that meant. He stated that he was still looking through some of the evidence, and he didn't interview a lot of the witnesses. So some of his information that he gave, he couldn't be 100% sure or accurate about it, which really bothered me. We also learned that prior to the incident, the sheriff and the judge and several colleagues had lunch together. Now, according to a witness, during that lunch, the judge said to the sheriff, "Do we need to talk privately?" In which the sheriff signaled yes, and they indeed talked privately. Now, several days before this incident occurred, Mickey Stines was interviewed for hours in a deposition in a suit that names him in his capacity as a sheriff. The lawsuit claimed that he knew or should have known that a former deputy had coerced a female defendant into engaging in sexual activity for freeing her from house arrest. The defendant, Deputy Ben Fields, allegedly forced her to engage in this activity with him in Judge Mullins' chambers. Now, that may explain why there are cameras in the chambers. The judge was not implicated in that case at all. So all in all, at this hearing, we learned that there was some interaction between the judge and the sheriff at lunch, in which they discussed talking privately. They went to talk privately. We saw that devastating footage of the sheriff firing upon the judge after looking through his phone and finding his underage daughter's phone number. Players, I'm definitely going to follow this story, so make sure you like and follow for more if you want to know about this case. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mo for the Black Youth News.